Okay, I'm working on a zombie sculpt, and that is Jake over there working on a different zombie sculpt. And Morgan and Frank are working on pouring up another head form out of a silicone mold for me to sculpt silicone masks on.
Another zombie sculpt.
And for probably another freaking zombie sculpt, because the world cannot have enough zombies. But anyway, this one here, I'm doing some next detail. This is monster clay. Normally you guys see me sculpt in water-based clay, but I'm going to show some monster clay stuff, and you'll see me get liquid clay. Where I get the liquid clay from is right down here. I have a shop work light with a pan on it, and in that pan is monster clay. It is good and hot, and that's how you soften oil-based clay. Some of it's even meltable and pourable and whatnot, as monster clay is. So I'm going to back up on that vein, and I'm going to do some detail on it. You will see as much as fat hand allows. I am just using a piece of popsicle stick that I cut into a point. And I kind of want to just feather those out a little bit, because they're going to be a little obvious when I first do them, and I want to tone those down. Overstated doesn't normally read well. It looks amateurish in a sculpt, but so you really want to go as subtle as possible. Often I'll put a feature on, and then I'll rake over it and rake it down and rake it down until it's barely there. But that's what reads the best for that particular feature. Like this here, all of these just lines coming off of this neck vein, right now they're pretty pronounced. And this neck vein used to be really pronounced, but now it's a lot more subtle, but it's going to read better. I have a tub of alcohol here and a brush in alcohol. Alcohol helps dissolve the clay some, and that's going to help soften those edges. Keep in mind, in my garage right now, it is easily 100 degrees, because I'm in Texas, and it's very warm. So you might need a little more heat in order to get your clay as soft as mine. This clay isn't so soft where this brush is deforming it. It's only being mellowed a touch because of the alcohol. But now I have hard lines that I don't like. So now I'm taking the liquid clay from underneath, just right on top of that alcohol, and I'm almost brushing over what I did. I am brushing over what I did, but it's looking like it's going to go away, but it's not. It's just a lot more subtle than it was. And that just kind of fills in those lines. But now I have lines of detail and wrinkles as opposed to scratch marks. But even now I want to knock down that texture even a little bit further. Because you start with too much, then you pull it back and you pull it back and you pull it back until it gets to be where you want it. So now I kind of start the process over again. So now I'm working down here at the base of this vein, kind of, and I'm just putting in wrinkles along the chest. And I don't want these lines dead straight, but I don't want them super wavy. So I want them to have just a gentle curve to them so they look fairly natural. I'm going to knock them down a little bit with the alcohol. And that's pretty much the whole sculpt is going to get this kind of treatment in order to get fine details everywhere. But you don't want the details to turn into tool marks. And now I have really hot liquid clay. Every now and then it'll set the alcohol on fire, but not very often. So just don't like getting really close. Alright. And I've largely obliterated my lines there. So because I obliterated them with my other technique, I'm putting them back in, but I'm taking a lot more out because I want them to show up I just don't want it to be a dominant feature in the sculpt. Always look at things. Look at skin off of a chicken from the grocery store. Look at people's ears. Look at different things that will give you different textures that you can remember and go back to when you are sculpting. And I'm going to skip the alcohol on this one, and I'm just going for the clay. Because, you know, play with it. See what is working for you. See, that doesn't take it away as much, but it does tone it down nice. So that's what I'm doing. Dabbling it on, getting excess clay off, and then brushing it out. I can still see those lines, but now they're subtle as opposed to a big feature. And I might even go in and do this texture several times to get what I want. Sculpting is a tedious process. So enjoy. That's monster clay that I'm using.